We're here at the Elwood Atfield Gallery. I'm Andrew Thomas, the publishing editor of Communicate magazine. We organise a number of awards events: the Digital Impact Awards, the Transform Awards, the Corporate Engagement Awards and the Corporate and Financial Awards. With me, I've got Stef Brown from On Pointe Marketing. She's going to talk to us about which are the best awards to enter. Stef, how should companies decide which awards events to enter?
Well, I think the first thing that they need to sort of acknowledge or recognise is the types of award schemes that are out there, or how those award schemes, the reputation of those award schemes. And I kind of look at it as there being sort of three different groupings. The first grouping is what I would call the Premier League award schemes. Usually those are sort of 3 or 4 schemes within a particular topic area that probably have been around for decades potentially, have an amazing reputation, and are essentially the Academy Awards of that area of awards. Then the next level down is what I would call the Division 1, and the Division 1s tend to be sort of a group of 4 to 6 award schemes that are probably have been around for maybe 3 to 6 or 7 years, and they're kind of fast-growing award schemes, can be brought to you by a magazine, as in the case with many of Communicate's awards, or can be brought to you by some sort of industry body. And then there's the third group, which is what I just call Sunday League, which is everything else. And in my experience, the everything else category generally tends to have a lower reputation and are more about making money for the award scheme itself than any kind of reputation building exercise for the entrants.
There's a stack of awards out there. Particularly at the moment, if you look in the PR space, you've got the PR Week Awards, you've got the CIPR Awards, the PRCA Awards, the Excellence, Pride, and so on. And that's just one small area of communications. Do you enter all of them?
No, in a word. I think that there are a number of things that you need to consider. I think that one of the things that many companies go wrong in is that they approach awards in a very tactical way, and they just sort of see that something's open for entry, and they say, oh my God, we have to enter this. Rather than looking at the entire landscape and at the beginning or end of a year and doing their planning. So I think the first thing that anybody needs to do is look at their positioning. What does your own brand stand for? And that will help you to decide the type of award schemes that you want to enter. So for example, if you're an agency, if your aim is to be the most creative agency in the world, then you should be focusing on entering creativity-only award schemes. If your positioning is about doing great work that works, then you should probably be focusing on entering what I call business impact or effectiveness award schemes. Whatever you do, make sure that it's going back to reflecting, whatever you choose to do goes back to reflect your positioning. The next thing I think that you need to do is look at your business strategy. What are your aims and objectives for your business? Are you having trouble recruiting creative talent? If that's the case, maybe you need to be entering and winning more creative awards. Are you looking for more new clients, or trying to sell your products or services to somebody else? Then you should probably be looking at more of the business impact type award schemes. You could also, are you looking to enter into new territories? Look at international award schemes that are based in those countries, and so on and so on.
It's interesting, you talk about how to pinpoint those awards, particularly in that international space. So there are other things that companies should be focusing on when it comes to deciding which of the awards to enter.
I think so. I think that there are quite a few things that you could look at to give you an idea as to the reputation of that award scheme. I kind of lump award schemes into three general areas. The first is what I would call the Premier League Awards. That's probably 3 or 4 award schemes that are kind of like the Academy Awards of whatever topic or subject you're talking about. Then there's the sort of Division 1 award schemes, which are usually about half a dozen sort of up-and-coming award schemes, you know, that have been around maybe for 3, 4, 5 years and are gaining traction and rising up into the Premier League. And then the third is kind of what I call everything else. And usually those award schemes are really just out to take money from you, and I do not suggest you enter them. Looking at the Premier League and Division 1s, there are pros and cons to entering both. Premier League obviously will be attracting a lot more entries. Therefore, the competition is more fierce. Therefore, you have less of a chance of winning. So if you're looking for a very quick hit in terms of getting your people on side or, you know, doing something to sort of impress your clients, then I would always recommend kind of looking at the Division 1 award schemes. You know, by all means, you can invest in the Premier League ones, but you probably have more of a chance of winning in the Division 1 schemes. I think it's also important to look at judges in the previous year. It gives you sort of an indication as to the types of companies that they come from and what they might choose as winning entries in the future. It's also really important to look at past winners, particularly in the categories that you're considering entering. And when I say that, I don't mean just go to the award scheme and look at the winners list. What I mean is actually doing your research. You know, some schemes actually put the case studies on their websites, many others don't. Do your homework, do a Google search. You see who won the story. Chances are that the agency that, you know, won that award will have a case study on their website. Go and look at it. See if your story is up to the level of what won in the previous year, and know whether, and that will help you to know whether it's worth entering. I always recommend that people be brutal. Better to enter less than more.
Okay, fantastic. Well, there we have it. There's very definitely a pecking order when it comes to entering awards. Make sure you enter the right ones. Thanks very much, Stef.
You're welcome.